Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in this morning. So for those of you looking for a stock combo, a very versatile, very popular trailer out there, we've got a really cool one sitting behind me. This is a 2022 Logan Coach Stockman combo. We're going to go ahead and I'll take you, we'll look at the drawing. That way you can kind of see how this trailer lays out itself. I'll kind of go over some specs for you. But again, this is a very cool setup as far as the tack, the extras we did to this trailer itself. So again, it's a Stockman combo. So typically you have your traditional straight wall or slant wall setups. For this one here, we actually do have a slant wall on this. But what we did is we actually extended the length of this trailer. So again, the most popular are 20 to 24 footers. This one's a 26 foot on the floor. And the reason why we went with 26 is we wanted a lot of stall space for you still, but at the same time, a lot of tack. So on this one here, we have a front dressing room and then a trainer tack that we'll show you here in a second. But again, we kind of lengthened it out a little bit. We're 7'3" wide. That is standard width on Logan's standard model trailers. And then we're 7 foot tall. So that's a standard height on these as well. So with them being 7'3", you gain a little bit of extra width on their standard models compared to most manufacturers. But in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. You get a little bit more stall space on it. So when we look at this trailer itself, we'll walk you through some of the upgrades we did, some of the things, and I'll explain to you why we did those. First and foremost, what we're looking at on a Logan Coach is a galvanized steel frame with aluminum body. So we gain that strength of steel, but that galvanized steel, the way that it's manufactured is it's not gonna rust like black steel will. So we gain that strength, but then with the aluminum finish, we lighten the trailer up a little bit, and it's gonna have the appearance of more of an aluminum feel and aluminum look to the trailer in the completed product. But one thing that they do on a lot of the steel as well is they incorporate this, it's called Vortex Lining. It's like a bed liner. It's very, very durable. In my opinion, when you get to the stall area, I think it also dens a lot of the noise as well. It's not as echoey in these trailers. But this Vortex Lining is extremely stout stuff. At the SEMA show, we heard they took a cinder block, they put it in Vortex Lining, they threw it off a 3-story building and it bounced, so it didn't break that. I mean, you know how some of those cinder blocks can be a little delicate when you drop them, they can break, but they did that and threw it off a 3-story building. The other thing on the gooseneck drop wall is I feel like that is where it gets peppered with rocks, especially if you live down dirt roads, gravel roads. You know, you get a lot of that road blast on that gooseneck deck, and I think that really protects it as well. I'm not gonna say you'll never get a ding in it, but the chances of it now are extremely slim, just because of them incorporating that even on that gooseneck drop wall. Up on the nose, they do the polished stainless sheet. Again, just kind of gives it a good look to the trailer when it's finished. You can go with this color match nose if you'd like. This one here, we opted for kind of a charcoal metallic on this one. So the charcoal metallic has become a very popular color over the last couple of years. It incorporates and works very well with a lot of the trucks you see out there on the road today. But if you want a color match, that can be done. You can delete that stainless nose if you'd like to, and then just go with that. So in my opinion here, I'm going to step back and let you take a really good look at this, because in my opinion, this is what really sets this trailer apart. The trainer tack setup. These trainer tack setups have become extremely popular because, again, we're looking at a slant wall here when we're dealing with the stock area versus the front tack, and we only have a 5-foot short wall. So on most of our slant wall combos, they run anywhere from 4 foot. That's kind of the most common, and you can go up to 5 foot, but we really didn't change the length of this trailer at all. Now we added extra couple feet to this, but if you wanted to stick with a 20 or 24 foot, you're just really not changing it much by adding 1 foot to that short wall, so making it a 5 foot. This is what you can get on the long wall because of the offset. So you have dual doors, you have brush trays on both doors, carpeted, so it's carpeted on the doors themselves, and then as we get into the tack area itself, it's all carpeted as well. So you have bridle hooks up high, again, kind of protecting items from really just moving back and forth as far as your bits, any of that tack rubbing against an aluminum sheet. It's going to protect that as well. And then we incorporate the carpet throughout on the walls, on the back side, and then on the sides. So as you're looking at it, the front wall, you have 2 rows of bridle hooks there. You have 2 rows of bridle hooks on the slant wall and the back wall there itself. There is some room back here if you wanted to add like a corner water tank. Some of those type of items could be done after the fact. But then, as you can see, we've got 2 sets of 4-tier saddle racks, and then we've got 2 sets of 4-tier blanket pole racks. Now the other thing is the way these Logan builds these, there's like a track high and low. So if I wanted to scoot these together, I could do that. If I wanted to swap kind of the configuration, maybe I want my saddle pads closer to the wall, maybe I want to stagger them, you know, saddle racks, blanket poles, saddle racks, blanket poles. You can swap these around. You just loosen the bolts high and low, and then you can actually move them. You can slide them apart or flip them around if you'd like to. So there's a lot of different things we can do there. Now, one of the other cool things that comes with the standard models, you see here on the floor, is one of these ramps. So this ramp here, this comes standard with their standard models. So you have the ability to change tires with that ramp, and that does come with the trailer. So that does come standard. Now, as we get back here to the stall area itself, you'll notice that we have 2 air gaps with plexiglass. Those can be removed. So at the back here, there's a piece of aluminum that we can unbolt, take off, and then we can slide all that out. So if we get to the winter months, you want to keep the plexiglass in, you can do that. And you get to the warmer summer months, you want a little bit more airflow. Very easy to undo that and then slide those pieces out themselves. We have plenty of tie rings on here. Again, we've got a good sized stall area, but we've got 5 tie rings on this side of the trailer. Plenty of ability to go ahead and tie up horses in different locations. You've got a load light at the top. That's an 8-inch awning light. So that shoots down and out. I prefer those rather than the pedestal lights because they kind of protrude up and off the trailer. So if you do happen to drive underneath some branches, some bushes, some trees, you have the ability to knock one of those off. These, we don't see that near as much. Again, I'll never say never because things can happen, but the chances of it now are extremely lower. Now, we have 2 7,000 rubber torsion axles. We upgraded to the aluminum wheels. This is a nice trailer. Let's give it a good finished look to the trailer as well. Those are nitrogen filled. So nitrogen filled tires, there is kind of some misconceptions. Sometimes people think like, oh, I have a low tire, I need to put air to it, and I can't because it's nitrogen filled. And that's not the case. You can go ahead and put air to these tires, no problem at all. A lot of tire distributors are actually carrying nitrogen now. So later on, if maybe you have a slow leak, something like that, you go and get it fixed, they can refill it with the nitrogen. Now nitrogen, what it does is it helps from tires fluctuating drastically. PSI levels really fluctuating, high and low, multiple, major differences in pounds per square inch. That's gonna help with that. When you're dealing with, like here in Colorado, we deal with really cool evenings, but then we can get hot during the day. So we have those big swings, which can affect that. So that's where the nitrogen comes into play there. We're not seeing that as much. Now, as we get to the back of this trailer, again, 7.3 wide. So we're gonna gain a little bit of width in here. And the reason why it's very easy to tell is because of your wheel wells. When you get into your 7 wide trailers, 6'10" wide trailers, 6'9", somewhere in there, depending on different manufacturers, different makes, different models, sometimes you'll have no wheel well in here. And typically some manufacturers will call that a 7 foot wide. And it usually is about a 6'10", 6'9" and a half, somewhere in there. But with this, you're gaining that little bit of width to this trailer, 7 foot tall. Again, you've got some height in here to run some good sized horses. A lot of people will be like, oh, I got real big horses, I really need to go up in height. And I tell everybody, for a long time we were running horses in a WW stock trailer, and those are standard 6'6" tall. So it's very easy to go ahead and get a horse. They're going to be very comfortable in this. And then again, we have that extra width in here. Now, this is the cool part about this. I mean, there's a lot about this trailer I really like, but in my opinion, what I'm standing on is the best self-draining floor in today's market. And the reason why is because the steps that Logan has taken. So right here, they've actually got a picture of it. So what we have is we have these aluminum planks that run the length of the trailer. So from back forward. And as you can see, there's air gaps between each one of them. And there's an angle to it. And the reason why is it's gravity, as urine or other water hit the floor and work through it, they'll go down. But with the angle, if you're running in rain or you're in snow, that type of a scenario where water's trying to come up and splashing up, because of that angle, it's not going to allow that to come back into the trailer itself. Now, the other really important thing that they do is again, urine and aluminum aren't good friends. I mean, it's very acidic, so it wants to eat at that floor. But on these planks, they incorporate this Vortex lining again, so we're not having that urine making contact with aluminum. Out the trailer it goes, because then they cap it off here with this porous pour-in rubber floor. So again, that urine or water will work its way through this floor and out it goes. So it's very easy to clean. You do not have to pull mats out. I hate pulling mats. It is like wrestling an alligator. It is not a fun job. I always got to do that when I was growing up. So it's a very sore subject. I'm getting flashbacks right now. Now you don't have to worry about that on this trailer. So you can literally hop in my opinion, you nose it up a little bit, have gravity work with you. So nose it up, bring your power washer in through the escape door and literally blow stuff out. I mean, it's a lot easier if you muck out the solids first and then just power wash. But when you incorporate this Vortex lining on the side wall and then this floor, very easy to clean. It's actually going to keep your stall area cleaner in general, because again, we're getting a lot of that urine and those liquids out of this trailer right off the bat. Now, some people run in real sandy country. We've talked to some of those type of customers to get feedback, and they have said they don't notice anything as far as that sand getting in these kind of pores of this floor and clogging it up. So that's really good to just feedback that we've gotten over the years on these trailers. Now let's get back into kind of some options here. You got some LED lights. There's light switches at the back, so I can turn on the exterior lights and the interior lights from a switch. Very easy to use. And then as we work forward here, again, because of the slant wall with the partition here, we did the same with the center cut gate. Now we put one center cut gate on this trailer, but again, we mirrored that so that all the angles are the exact same. And it is a slam latch. I'm a big fan of slam latches. It is so important for safety just to be able to run up and slam these gates shut. Now, I'll show you like when we get to the back of this trailer on the slam latch on this one, but from a safety standpoint, we're not having to hold animals in, having them push back against, slam it and step out of the way. So we have a slam latch there. Now, one of the other things that's really cool and that Logan's done is this tie rail. So we have a tie rail on each side, but why it's important, because of this plexiglass, now I can't tie to these posts, obviously. I can't get my lead rope around them because of the plexiglass when it's in. So we've got these tie rails the whole length of the stall area, so you can tie anywhere you want. And then obviously in the time of the year that you don't want the plexiglass in, then you've got the ability to tie to the posts if you'd like as well. But as you can see, really well set up as far as here in the stall area. One other thing is this is an aluminum sheeted roof, but I want you to notice that there is a bow to this. There are some manufacturers that will have a flat roof, and that really becomes an issue with having to reseal your roofs more frequently. Now, you're gonna have to reseal a roof on every trailer at some point in its life. It's just part of it. It's part of the maintenance of your bearings, your brakes, those type of items as well. But this bow is going to allow moisture to get off this trailer. So if we have snow and it starts melting, or we have rain, it gets off of there. So it's not going to be as harsh on those seals if it was a flat compared to the flat sheeted roof trailers. But again, you will have to reseal this roof eventually. But on those flat you know, roof trailers, if we get them in on trade, they could be, you know, 3, 4, 5 years old, and we're having to reseal roofs, where you should get a little bit longer out of these. Again, it just depends on the situation where it's parked and how it's used as well. Now, I showed you the slam latch on the center gate. We've got a slam latch on the back of this one. Again, slam latch is just to be able to go ahead and slam that again. Again, if you're maybe loading some cows, some pears, some bulls, something like that, and pushing against there, it's a lot safer for you to slam that. And then you've got this additional cam latch that goes over it. So you've got 2 points of locking on this trailer. These here, and then our slam. And then the other thing is they went ahead and put these little eyelets here for you. So if you are running some panels, you want to actually attach them to the trailer, you're out, you know, doing a makeshift corral or having to load something, you've got the ability on each side of this trailer to do that. One last thing on this. If you notice, we have no air gaps on the back of this. And that is, again, in our opinion, very important. We try to not do as many air gaps on the back of these trailers, or if we do, we like to have, the plexiglass on the back. And the reason why is wind swirls. If you live on a dirt road or have had a lot of experience with dirt roads, just even on your passenger vehicle, your truck, your SUV, your car, whatever, if you go to the back after driving on it for a while, you can literally just go to the trunk or the tailgate, put your hand on it, and it'll be covered in dust because it swirls at the back of these trailers. And what it's actually going to try to do is that it's actually going to try to suck that air into the trailer itself in a lot of instances. So one thing we don't want our animals breathing is that dust. So it's literally going to try to suck it in there. So from that standpoint, you know, again, we're not having that. It seals it off, whether you do something like this where it's solid or you do air gaps with plexiglass. So that's just a little add-on that we did to the trailer. Nothing too crazy there. Again, you can do different options. If you do want the air gaps, plexiglass, very simple to do. It will be removable just like we looked at on the other side. So again, removable plexiglass. We've got 5 more tie rails or tie rings out here. You've got another load light up top. And then here's a look at that escape door going into the stall area. So you've got the ability to go in and out with this. It's got a good lock. You can throw a padlock on these if you want. And then on your tack doors, you can actually lock them up. So on the back side of what we were looking at on that trainer tack, here's a front dressing room. So we basically just split the trailer in half. We've got this side over here that now, if you're working out of this trailer, and maybe you're wanting to throw a bedroll in here, a mattress, something along those lines, now you don't have to sit in here and smell, you know, your saddles, your blankets, your pads, everything like that. It keeps these dressing rooms a lot cleaner just because now we don't have all that tack and all that equipment in here as well. People really like it. Most of the time when we step in these, it's actually very little, you know, just use and dirtiness on the floor because again, they're keeping all that dirty stuff over there. Then you do have a boot box, so some additional storage. This is a nice deep boot box, and then it also will work as a step if you are jumping up into that front tack room area. And the other thing is you've got some LED lights in here, but you can do some other things. I mean, I've seen some people do some cabinets, some shelves, different items like that. We can go in and add some hooks in here if you want. Right up above me is a clothes bar, so if you're carrying some show clothes you want to change into, you can do that. It hangs off that. But there's a lot of different items that you can do actually in this area here. Now, one last thing I want to show you on this before we get away from this is I want you to look at these tack doors, because these tack doors are square at the top. These are manufactured at the factory, so they're real heavy duty. You know, we have a lot of framework. We have frame from the side of this to basically the window there, and then there's some additional framework in the door itself. But the reason why I say that is there's some manufacturers that really, when you open a door, it feels like a piece of paper in your hand. I mean, it's really lightweight. You feel the weight and the mass of this. This is a door that more than likely you're gonna be in and out of every time you use this trailer opening, closing. We want it to have a nice seal and hold up over time. Those prefab doors, they're rounded at the top. That's how you can tell. And if they're rounded at the top, I recommend to all those customers is you lock that door before you drive down the road. And the reason why is I've seen them to where the right bump will get it to pop open on you. But again, nice, solid doors on these, the heavy duty doors, they're welded, hinges on there. And then that's a good look at that charcoal color that I was talking about there. So again, if you're in the market of a stock combo with some extras, a little bit bigger, you know, tack areas, a little bit more stall areas, this is a great setup. We've sold a lot of these 26-footers out there in today's market. I'm going to give you the stock number on it because again, it's a 2022 Logan Coach Stockman Combo 5N220280. We do take trade-ins. We do buy trailers. So if you have a trailer sitting around you want to turn into cash, give us a call. If you want to upgrade into something like this, if you're wanting to build something that maybe this isn't exactly what you're looking for, and you want to make some tweaks, we can easily do that. So give us a call. Anybody on our sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.